Hello, and I want to welcome you to Office 2013 MIS 1050 at Northwood University. This course is Microsoft 2013. So the lecture today is going to be about the first section. It's going to be about understanding essential computer concepts. The thing you want to remember is every lesson has objectives. Today's objectives, we're going to talk about living and working in the digital world. We're going to talk about different types of computers. We're going to make sure that you understand how to identify computer components. You can compare types of memory, talk about storage media, different ways to store documents and files. So you'll be able to differentiate between storage devices. We're going to talk about output devices, which include things such as the printer, screen, things like that. We're going to describe data communications. We're going to identify types of networks. We're going to discuss security threats. We're going to understand system software and describe different types of application software. For this course, mainly it's going to be Office 2013 that we're going to be using. So let's go ahead with the lecture for today. So a computer is an electronic device that allows you to input, access data, manipulate data, create reports, and display the information either in print form or on the monitor, and then actually save that information for later retrieval to possibly use for generating reports or writing documents or talking to a client or a vendor about their sales. So there's different types of computers. If you look on page 3, you can see different types of computers that you're going to be putting a name with a content. You've got desktops and laptops. You've got sub-notebooks, which are ultra-portables or mini laptops, such as the new Surfaces. You've got some of the Chromebooks, and then you have tablets, such as the iPad, the Kindle, and there's a Samsung tablet, different kinds of tablets that are out there. There's also handhelds that can be used to access data and that function very similarly to computers, and that would be your smartphones, your MP3 players, and also there are still mainframe and supercomputers out there that are used within businesses to hold data and to allow access to data. SAP is handled on a mainframe. You have basically what you have when you access SAP through your local computers. Basically, you're generating a dumb terminal to access the central computer that holds all the SAP data. Computer generally has a CPU or a main computing module. It has usually a display, keyboard, and a mouse usually to access it. Handheld computers are smaller computers. They don't necessarily always have the same capacity as desktops, but nowadays there are actually some laptops that are a lot more powerful than a desktop computer. And then, like I said, mainframes and supercomputers are definitely a lot more powerful, can do a lot more things. Now, when you're looking at a laptop computer, we all know they're hinged, and you've got the display in the top portion. The bottom portion is a keyboard. It's powered by disposable, rechargeable batteries that you plug into the wall, and then you have up to an hour to 8 to 10 hours worth of charge on your batteries to be able to use the laptop without being connected to power. Your tablets, they're thin computers. There's a lot of power inside a tablet, but there's no external keyboard or mouse unless you add one to it. You interact with a touchscreen or a stylus, and you can actually add keyboards to it. They're great for surfing the web, checking email. You can actually do a lot of projects on a tablet nowadays, and I've got a couple tablets that I use for work, different types, different sizes. I own a Kindle, and I have iPads for work that I use. And then your smartphones. I find it amazing to believe that my smartphone has more RAM, has more memory, and a faster processor than my first IBM PC2 had back in the 80s when I bought my first computer. It's really quite daunting to think how far computing has come over the years. Here's your mainframe. It's a picture like was in the textbook. And they're used by institutions, they're used by businesses, corporations. In my case, I work for an educational institution. They have a large mainframe that controls the SAP software that we use to access student records. So in order to identify as computer system components, there's two different things basically that go into a computer. There's hardware, which is the actual components that do the calculations, that you input the data, that you view, and then there's the software or content that's put in via disk or preloaded or downloaded that actually helps your computer do the operations, the calculations that it needs to do for whatever you're doing. The architecture or configuration is the design of the computer or the construction of the computer. It's actually not only the way the computer is put together, but it's also can be, you've got to look at operating systems. You've got to look at the whether it is a PC or a Mac, the way that it's designed, whether it's a laptop, desktop, tablet, etc., would be your architecture configuration. And the specifications are the actual technical details about all the hardware components, such as how much RAM the computer has, how fast the processor speed is, the video graphics card, how strong and how big of a resolution it has for that. So the specifications can vary from machine to machine. And sometimes you can buy a machine with one plan for components, and before your machine has been shipped, in the old days, let's rephrase that, they may have changed processors or got a faster speed processor or a better RAM. The specifics might not be exactly what you expected when you ordered it. Now, when you're looking at system components, you're looking at data, and which are the numbers, figures, ones and zeros, the content that goes into the computer to be transformed. And then processing is what's going on that modifies the data. The motherboard is located inside the computer. That's the main electronic component of the computer. And on the motherboard you have several cards or slots. You have slots to put memory in. Your CPU or your computer processing unit is on there. You've got a video card, usually an audio card.